My beloved child, listen carefully to my voice today because this message is not arriving by accident. There is a reason your eyes have found these words at this exact moment. There is a reason your heart feels drawn to stay and listen. For a long time, you have been waiting. You have been praying. You have been hoping for a sign that the season of uncertainty would finally come to an end. And today, I want you to hear these words clearly. The wait is over. Your appointed time has come. I know there were moments when you almost gave up. Moments when you looked around and saw others moving forward while your own life seemed trapped in delay. You asked yourself difficult questions. You wondered why certain doors remained closed. You wondered why prayers seemed unanswered. You wondered if perhaps you had been forgotten. But my child, I have never forgotten you, not for a single moment. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were crying, I was preparing. While you were questioning, I was arranging things beyond what your eyes could see. You thought the delay meant rejection. But what if I told you that the delay was actually preparation? What if the closed doors were protecting you? What if the waiting season was building a strength within you that could never have been formed any other way? My beloved child, there are things I had to do within your heart before I could place certain blessings into your hands. You wanted the promise immediately, but I was preparing you to sustain the promise. You wanted the breakthrough, but I was building the character necessary to carry the breakthrough. You wanted the destination, but I was teaching you lessons that could only be learned during the journey. Many nights you felt alone. Many nights you looked toward heaven and asked me why everything seemed so difficult. You watched opportunities disappear. You watched people walk away. You watched plans collapse before your eyes. And each time it happened, a part of you wondered if your future was slipping away. But my child, your future has never been controlled by circumstances. Your future has always been held securely within my hands. There are things that happened which you still do not understand. There are tears you cried that no one else saw. There are battles you fought in silence. There are wounds you carry that even the people closest to you know nothing about. But I know. I saw every tear. I heard every prayer. I felt every moment your heart broke beneath the weight of disappointment. And through all of it, I remained beside you, even when you could not feel my presence, even when you doubted my plan, even when fear whispered that nothing would ever change. I was there. My beloved child, look at the life of Joseph. When he was thrown into a pit, it looked like his destiny was ending. When he was sold into slavery, it looked like the promise had failed. When he was forgotten inside the prison, it looked like heaven had become silent. But what Joseph could not see was that every painful chapter was leading him toward his appointed time. The pit was preparation. The prison was preparation. The waiting was preparation. And then suddenly, everything changed. One moment, he was a prisoner. The next moment, he was standing before kings. Do you see, my child? The greatest changes often happen after the longest waiting seasons. That is why I am asking you not to judge your future based on your current situation. What you see today is not the final chapter. What you see today is not the end of the story. There are things already moving in your favor. There are answers already on the way. There are opportunities already being prepared. There are blessings already carrying your name. You may not see them yet, but they are real. The appointed time I have prepared for you is closer than you think. I know that fear still tries to speak to your heart. Fear tells you that nothing will change. Fear tells you that it is too late. Fear tells you that you have missed your opportunity. But fear is lying to you. The same God who brought David from the field to the throne is still working. The same God who opened the Red Sea is still working. The same God who raised Joseph from prison is still working. And I am working in your life right now. My beloved child, stop measuring your future through the lens of your present pain. Pain is temporary. Delay is temporary. Confusion is temporary. But my promises remain. There is a reason I allowed certain seasons to continue longer than you expected. If I had given you everything immediately, you would have missed the transformation taking place inside your soul. You were becoming stronger, wiser, more compassionate, more dependent upon me. You were learning to trust even when you could not see. And that kind of faith carries power. The world teaches people to believe only when evidence appears. But faith believes before evidence arrives. Faith continues walking before the road becomes visible. Faith trusts even when circumstances seem impossible. And that is exactly what you have been learning. My beloved child, hear me carefully. The season is changing. The chapter is changing. The atmosphere around your life is changing. What once felt impossible will begin to open. What once felt delayed will begin to move. What once felt blocked will begin to clear. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because the time I prepared for you is arriving. The wait is over. Your appointed time has come. So lift your eyes, lift your heart, lift your expectations. Do not enter this new season carrying the same fear that followed you through the old one. Leave the fear behind. Leave the doubt behind. Leave the disappointment behind. For I am leading you into a season where you will finally understand why you had to wait. And when that day comes, you will look back with tears in your eyes and realize that not a single moment was wasted. Not a single prayer was ignored. Not a single tear was forgotten. Everything was part of the preparation. Everything was leading you here. Everything was leading you to this moment. My beloved child, as you stand on the edge of this new season, there is something I need you to understand. The waiting was never punishment. The silence was never abandonment. The delay was never denial. Many people walk away from their destiny because they misunderstand the waiting season. They assume that because they cannot see movement, nothing is happening. They assume that because answers have not arrived, heaven has become silent. But my child, some of the greatest works I perform happen where human eyes cannot see. Think about a seed buried deep beneath the ground. To someone standing above the soil, nothing appears to be happening. There are no leaves, no branches, no visible signs of life. Day after day the ground looks exactly the same, yet beneath the surface an invisible process is taking place. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Life is preparing itself for the moment it breaks through. And that, my child, is exactly what I have been doing within you. While others were noticing what was missing in your life, I was focusing on what needed to be built within your spirit. While others measured success by visible progress, I was creating foundations that would support the blessings I have prepared for you. You wanted immediate results. I wanted lasting transformation. You wanted quick answers. I wanted deep wisdom. You wanted the gift. I wanted to prepare the person who would carry the gift. That is why certain prayers took longer than you expected. That is why some opportunities disappeared. That is why certain relationships ended. That is why some doors remained closed despite your repeated efforts. My beloved child, there were places you desperately wanted to enter that would have damaged your future. There were people you desperately wanted to keep who would have distracted you from your purpose. There were opportunities you cried over losing that would have led you away from the path I designed specifically for you. You only saw the loss. I saw the danger. You saw rejection. I saw protection. You saw disappointment. I saw redirection. And now, as you look back, some things are beginning to make sense. Not everything, but enough for you to realize that my hand was guiding you even when you could not recognize it. There is a reason why Abraham had to wait. There is a reason why Joseph had to wait. There is a reason why David had to wait. Because waiting reveals what immediate success never can. Waiting exposes fear. Waiting exposes doubt. Waiting exposes hidden weaknesses. But waiting also creates trust. Waiting creates endurance. Waiting creates faith that cannot be shaken by circumstances. My beloved child, Abraham received a promise from me that seemed impossible. Years passed. Then more years passed. The promise still had not appeared. People around him probably questioned his hope. They probably wondered why he continued believing. There were moments when everything seemed impossible. Moments when reality appeared stronger than faith. Moments when logic appeared stronger than hope. Yet Abraham continued trusting, and eventually the promise arrived. Not because Abraham forced it, not because Abraham manipulated circumstances, not because Abraham figured everything out. The promise arrived because the appointed time arrived. Do you understand what I am saying to you today? Your breakthrough is not controlled by human timing. Your breakthrough is controlled by divine timing. And divine timing is never late, even when it feels late, even when it feels impossible, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. I am still working. I am still preparing. I am still arranging things you cannot yet see. There are conversations taking place that you know nothing about. There are opportunities moving toward you that you cannot yet imagine. There are answers already beginning to form. There are connections already being established. There are doors already being positioned. And at the proper moment, everything will begin moving together in ways that will astonish. Soon, much sooner than you think, the pieces are coming together. The preparation is almost complete. The waiting season is reaching its conclusion. Do not lose hope now. Do not become discouraged now. Do not quit now. You have come too far to surrender just before the breakthrough. Imagine a person digging for treasure. They work for days, weeks, months. Eventually they become exhausted, discouraged, convinced that nothing is there, and then they stop. What they never realize is that the treasure was only inches away. My beloved child, do not stop digging. Do not stop believing. Do not stop trusting, because what I have prepared for you is closer than it has ever been. The enemy is increasing pressure because he senses movement. Fear is speaking louder because your breakthrough is approaching. Doubt is attacking harder because your season is changing. But remember this: darkness often fights hardest just before dawn arrives. Storms often rage hardest before they pass. Battles often intensify before victory appears. And that is why I need you to remain steady, remain faithful, remain hopeful. Lift your eyes above your circumstances. Lift your eyes above temporary setbacks. Lift your eyes above the voices that tell you nothing will change. Those voices do not know what I have already planned. Those voices do not know what I have already prepared. Those voices cannot see the future I am creating for you, but I can. I see the entire path. I see every step. I see every blessing. I see every victory. I see every answered prayer. And I am telling you now that your story is not ending in defeat. Your story is moving toward fulfillment. The season of waiting is giving way to the season of manifestation. The season of tears is giving way to the season of testimony. The season of uncertainty is giving way to the season of revelation. My beloved child, stay with me. Trust me a little longer. Believe me a little longer. Because very soon you will understand why every delay was necessary. Very soon you will understand why every closed door mattered. Very soon you will understand why every difficult season was preparing you for something greater than you imagined. The wait is over. Your appointed time has come. And what happens next will reveal just how carefully I have been preparing this moment for you all along. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is something your heart has longed to hear for a very long time. The moment you have prayed for is no longer a distant possibility. It is becoming your reality. For so long, you have lived by faith alone. You trusted when there was no evidence. You believed when there were no visible signs. You kept moving forward even when the road ahead seemed hidden beneath uncertainty. And heaven has seen every step. Not one prayer was ignored. Not one tear was wasted. Not one act of faith went unnoticed. I have recorded every moment you chose trust over fear. Every moment you chose hope over despair. Every moment you refused to quit. Even when everything inside you wanted to give up. Those moments mattered more than you realize, because they became the foundation for what is about to happen next. My beloved child, there are blessings that can only be entrusted to those who have learned how to remain faithful during difficult seasons. Many people desire the reward. Few are willing to endure the preparation. Many want the crown. Few are willing to carry the process. But you stayed. You continued walking. You continued believing. And now you are entering a season where the things that once seemed impossible will begin unfolding one by one. Do not be surprised when unexpected opportunities appear. Do not be surprised when doors open that no human effort could have forced open. Do not be surprised when people suddenly recognize the value that was hidden within you all along. For I am bringing hidden things into the light. I am bringing overlooked gifts into visibility. I am bringing forgotten promises back into remembrance. There are people who counted you out. People who assumed your best days were behind you. People who looked at your struggles and concluded that you would never recover. But they only saw a chapter. I see the entire story, and the chapter I am writing now will reveal a level of favor they never expected. My beloved child, do not carry the wounds of your previous season into your new season. Lay them down. Release the disappointments. Release the bitterness. Release the questions that never received answers. You cannot fully embrace what is ahead while still clinging to what is behind. Some things happened not because I stopped loving you. Some things happened because I loved you enough to redirect your path. You cried over certain endings, but those endings protected beginnings you could not yet see. You mourned certain losses, but those losses created room for greater blessings. You questioned certain changes, but those changes positioned you exactly where you needed to be for this moment. Now I am calling you forward. Forward beyond fear. Forward beyond regret. Forward beyond the limitations others placed upon you. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to doubt yourself. This is not the time to question whether you are capable. I have already placed within you everything you need for the next assignment. The strength is there. The wisdom is there. The courage is there. The grace is there. You are not waiting to become ready. You have been prepared through every battle you survived. My beloved child, there will be moments in this next season when events move faster than you expected. Things that seemed delayed for years may suddenly begin happening within weeks. Situations that remained unchanged for long periods may suddenly shift. Connections may appear. Resources may arrive. Answers may emerge. And when they do, remember this. Do not attribute everything to coincidence. Recognize my hand. Recognize my timing. Recognize my faithfulness. For what seems sudden to you has actually been developing behind the scenes for a very long time. Just as a flower appears to bloom overnight after months of unseen growth, many of the blessings approaching your life have been growing beneath the surface long before you notice them. This is why I tell you again, remain humble, remain grateful, remain close to me. Do not allow success to make you forget the source of your strength. Do not allow blessings to replace your dependence upon me. Stay connected to my voice, because the same God who guided you through the wilderness will guide you through abundance. The same God who sustained you through struggle will sustain you through increase, and the same God who carried you through the night will walk beside you in the daylight. My beloved child, your testimony is being written right now. The story that once brought tears to your eyes will soon bring hope to others. The battles that once made you question everything will become evidence of my faithfulness. The mountains that once stood before you will become reminders of what we overcame together. And when people ask how you made it through, you will smile. And remember that there were moments when you almost gave up. Moments when you almost stopped believing. Moments when you almost turned around. Yet somehow I kept holding you. Somehow I kept leading you. Somehow I kept making a way. And now the season is changing. The atmosphere is shifting. The doors are opening. The answers are arriving. The promises are awakening. And what I am about to do will exceed even the expectations you have carefully protected within your heart. So stand up, my beloved child. Lift your head. Strengthen your faith. Take the next step, because this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a chapter that will reveal the fullness of everything I have been preparing for you all along. And as you walk into it, you will finally understand why I asked you to trust me when you could not yet see what I was doing. For the best is not behind you. The best is just beginning. My beloved child, I am speaking to you again, not to remind you of what I said before, but to reveal what is happening now. Because now, things are no longer just being prepared, they are being released. For a long time you asked me, when will I see it? And I answered you in seasons, not sentences. I answered you in delays that were actually design. I answered you in silence that was actually structure. But now the silence is breaking. The hidden work is surfacing. And what was once invisible is beginning to take form in your reality. Do not think that what is coming will look exactly like what you imagined. Because I did not only prepare your blessing, I prepared your capacity to receive it. There are things you prayed for in a smaller version of yourself. But you are not that same person anymore. You have grown through pressure. You have matured through pain. You have developed strength through waiting. So now I am bringing you answers that match the version of you that survived everything. My beloved child, listen carefully. When the door opens, it will not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it will come quietly, disguised as a simple opportunity. Sometimes it will come through a conversation you thought was ordinary. Sometimes it will come through a path you almost ignored. But if you stay sensitive, you will recognize it, because I will place peace in your spirit when you step in the right direction, and I will place unrest when something is not aligned with your purpose. Do not ignore those inner signals. They are not emotions. They are guidance. There will be moments where your old fear tries to speak again. It will tell you that this is too good to be real. It will tell you to wait longer. It will tell you to doubt what is unfolding. But I am telling you now, do not let fear interpret your future. Let faith lead you into it. Because what I am doing now is not a repetition of your past. It is a rewriting of your story. And in this rewriting, I am removing patterns that have followed you for years. Patterns of delay. Patterns